In order to be able to guide the electrode fiber during the grinding process, a pulled glass pipette is inserted into the grinding machine. The glass pipettes, as well as all other incidentals for the electrode manufacture, can be obtained directly by Thomas recording. The glass pipettes can be pulled on the spot in the laboratory with a standard pipette puller, but you can also purchase them readily pulled from Thomas recording. In order to drive the pipette, it has to be fixed at the gear tube with a drop of wax. In order to glue the pipette centered into the gear tube, it is necessary to turn on the motor during the gluing process so that the pipette cannot turn. When the pipette is fixed, it has to be filled from the front end with distilled water. The distilled water is entering the pipette through capillary forces. The pipette has to be loaded with the electrode fiber from the front end up to the working position. The electrode fiber is also to be taken out to the front end after the grinding process in order to avoid wax contamination of the electrode tip. The recommended angle of inclination at the manipulator is 15 degrees. In Z direction, the manipulator should be adjusted in a way that the electrode fiber is touching the disc and sagging a little bit. All adjustments of the manipulator have to be executed under microscopic control. The manipulator has many degrees of freedom to be able to place the electrode fiber tip exactly on the grinding disc. If the manipulator is correctly adjusted, the moistening device for the grinding disc has to be turned on and the head of the moistening device has to be put onto the grinding disc. By no means this should be forgotten. Afterwards, the motor of the grinding disc should be turned on. The speed is adjusted at about half of the maximum. It should not be forgotten to turn on the pipette motor. Here you should select maximum speed. The grinding of the tip can be easily controlled with a supplied microscope. After the end of the grinding process and prior to switching off all motors, the microelectrode fiber can be taken out from the glass pipette again in front direction. Afterwards, the grinded electrode fibers should be placed onto the electrode tray. This is very important for safe storage and transportation in the laboratory. The electrode tray is also available from Thomas recording. Depending on the microelectrode manipulator used, the electrode fiber has to be cut into the appropriate length. About this, there are several recommendations available from our part depending on the manipulator type.